The easiest way to improve your running is by running more, but the only way that you can run more is if your recovery is on point. And I'm not talking about compression boots and saunas and ice baths and all those extra 1%ers. I'm more specifically speaking about your post-run nutrition. If you're new here, I'm Josh. I'm a nutritionist and run coach. I've coached over 100 athletes now. I've just come off the back of Gold Coast Marathon where I ran a 3:19, which was a nice little PB for me. But in today's video, I want to run through what to eat, when to eat it, and how it's actually going to help your recovery. Because as a runner, we always want to be doing more. But if you're not recovering properly, you're not going to get the adaptations that you're going for, and your sessions are just going to feel harder over time, which is what we want to avoid. But throughout the video, I'm going to run through some specifics and a certain rule that I like to follow, which I find has helped my recovery massively. But first, I have a session to do. It's about 11 Ks in total volume. It's a tempo session, so should be fun. We'll go through that, then we'll come back here and run through all the nutrition side of things. All right, so today's session is a tempo session at the higher end, more up-tempo kind of style, but it will have a 2K warm-up into some strides, and then the main work of the session is 7 Ks between a 4:17 to 4:40-ish pace, however I'm feeling. That's my pacing zone for that up-tempo kind of range, into a 2K cool down. Reason why I'm telling you that is because this type of session depletes your glycogen stores, which is your energy that comes from carbohydrates, much faster than an easy run would. And that's where the 30-minute rule comes into play. And we'll dive deeper into it after the session. But essentially, it's a rule that I live by with all my runs and what I preach to my clients as well. Because the sooner you can replenish what you've lost, the faster you will actually recover. Without me waffling on anymore, I'll get into this session and then we can go through everything else after that.
Long sleeves can prove to be a bit of an issue here. When I left the house, it was drizzling. But it's now a beautiful morning, so we'll see what happens. I'm a very sweaty guy. We'll see. Warm-ups and strides done. Got 30 seconds of just walking, but what a morning. Like I said before, it was drizzling. I wasn't sure, got the long sleeves on. I'm not complaining, but I think I'll get quite hot. Got a 7K block. I'll start at like a 4:20 and see how that feels. And hopefully there's no issues. Whew. Okay, so we're just under 4Ks through that 7K block, averaging about a 4:18. Feeling okay, breathing's a little heavy, but that's okay. Look at this, look how nice that is. How good is that? All right, done, 7K block in the books. I think it was just over 30 minutes worth of work. Averaged a 4:17, which is pretty good. It felt pretty comfortable, but towards the end, obviously the effort got a little bit higher, as it does. So got a 2K cool down, which is telling me I'm going too fast. 2K cool down now, then we'll go home and I'll run through that 30-minute rule.
Right, session done, we're home. You would have just seen me make this smoothie, which then ties into the 30-minute rule, which is what I was talking about earlier in the video. And it's what's actually gonna help you recover faster so that your next session doesn't feel like crap. What I've got in here is oats, water, Greek yogurt, no fat, honey, mixed berries, and some chia seeds. I honestly think that having a regular go-to smoothie post-run is an absolute cheat code to help you actually recover. Because a lot of people struggle with hunger after runs, like they just don't have that appetite, which is completely normal. So one way around that is by choosing a liquid option, and it's probably the easiest way to get fuel in after a session. The good thing about this is it's so high in carbohydrates, but it's also gonna hydrate me as well. So you gotta think about what you've lost during your session and how can you replenish that. I'm a very sweaty guy. I lose a lot of sweat. So what should I do post-session? You want to rehydrate. Smoothie, perfect. I've used water. The key thing that you want to replace that's actually going to help you recover faster is carbohydrates. So the old way of doing things, let's call it protein maxing, because everyone is so obsessed with protein. Everything's protein this, protein that, protein this. Rather than, I've got a little friend here, rather than focusing so much on protein, as an endurance athlete and someone that runs, you want to replace carbohydrates because that's the body's main fuel source. That's what you've just lost. That's what you've just burned through. Similar to what I've just done in that session there. It was a higher intensity session, so my body would have utilized a lot of my stored carbohydrates to help me get through that session. So that's where it comes into replenishing these and replacing them. I'm doing this through oats, honey, and the mixed berries. They're all various forms of carbohydrates, both glucose and fructose. I'm just gonna have a sip because I'm actually quite hungry. And I want to call that the new way of doing things. So making carbohydrates the key thing that you want to focus on after a session, not protein. Old way, protein maxing. New way, let's call it carb maxing. Carbohydrate maxing, that's what we're going to do. That is the key to sports nutrition, especially when it does come to endurance. The main thing is that you want to replace what you've lost. Easy to digest carbohydrates, and smoothies like this one are a great option. If you don't like berries and you like banana, you can also do bananas with dates and oats. That's also a great option. Any form of carbohydrate, and the best thing is you can load so much in here. You don't have to complicate it, just pick a few key ingredients that you think that you'll be able to regularly go to and consume. On the protein side of things, I'm using Greek yogurt, no fat Greek yogurt. I'm not a big supplement guy. I don't believe in, not that I don't believe in supplements, I'm just more of a food first approach. So I don't think that you need protein powder. A lot of people, well, a lot of you would get more than enough protein daily. You're probably under eating carbohydrates. The protein source in here is the Greek yogurt, but because it's a dairy product, it's also high in calcium, which is good for our bones as runners, because obviously we're pounding the pavement all the time, which can cause little hairline cracks in our bones. So we want to make sure that we are getting in enough calcium. And one thing that does help that absorption is vitamin D. So the beautiful sun, it's an unreal day today. So I'm enjoying the outdoors. And finally, you want to keep fat moderate to low, because fat slows down digestion, which is not what we want. We want to replenish and replace what we've lost really quickly so that we can actually recover and get to that next session without any issues. So that's what to eat, I guess, in terms of food types. In terms of timing, that's the 30-minute rule. So that's the one thing that I want you to remember from this video is, okay, how long do I have to eat, or when should I focus on eating or refueling post-run? 30 minutes, that's your window. Imprint that into your brain, 30-minute rule. Josh said I have to focus on the 30-minute rule. That's the key here. 30 minutes post-session, within that window, your body is like primed and it's ready, and it's pretty much starving to be refueled and replenished. And that's where options like this are perfect. If you are not going to be home, you can look at alternative options like a chocolate milk and a banana. That's a great recovery post-drink carbohydrate snacky meal that you can go to. And then within the hour after that, focus on consuming a proper meal that's rich in carbohydrates, proteins, and plenty of color. That's what's actually going to help you replenish things that you've lost and recover much faster. So your key takeaway from today's video is just one thing, and it's the 30-minute rule. Remember it, ingrain it in your brain, use it, tell your friends. That's what's actually going to help you recover. Don't worry about your fancy compression boots and saunas and ice baths and all that kind of stuff. Control what you can, and that's what you are putting in your mouth. So hopefully you got a bit from today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Like, subscribe, comment, let me know what your go-to smoothie is there. There's also some links in the description for some free resources and my coaching. Cheers for watching.